you can see right there that we're already at that week when we're going to get that big candle push. That's just the way I time it. What's going on, guys? It's Luis from Reaper Trading Club. I hope you guys had a wonderful week. It was a very, very good week in chat. A lot of good plays and a lot of money was made this week. So congrats everybody, and I hope you guys enjoyed having that week. Of it was a lot of anticipation coming to earnings for Amazon and Apple, but it all paid off at the end. So very good job, guys. And here's your watch list for the week. This time it's going to be 3 stocks that I'm watching, and these are going to be good low-key plays. You don't have to be so aggressive with them. Take your time. And there's going to be one special stock at the end that I'm going to really go over, and I'm going to really stress that you start getting into or start looking to get a position in, because like I said, this is not financial advice. This is just for educational purposes only. But when I find a good chart, it's a good chart, and it just starts letting me know what to do. And I found one of those, so I'm very happy to see this come to life, and I'm very excited to get started. So first off, let's start off with Tesla. So here we go. Here's the weekly. Let's look at the monthly. So we finally finished up July, so let's look at that monthly. As you can see, for the past couple of months, we've opened up strong. We really haven't had a big of a sell-off. You see it. You see here, we opened up. Boom, boom, up, boom, boom, up. So that's what I mean. We open up strong, and it just pushes up to new highs. So I'm going to see if we can continue this trend going. It's starting to look like it wants to sell off a little bit, but most likely what we will be able to see will be a candle maybe like this one. Nothing too crazy. Everything's going to stay in check. Everything's going to stay in a range, but after I see this big selling point on Tesla, I wouldn't be too confident that it would rally up, but at the end of the day, anything could happen. So it's just a matter of being ready for whatever happens. So coming into the weekly chart on Tesla, I'm very excited for this one. We had this very, very bullish weekly chart. And honestly, as you can see right here, you can compare that to this one right here. But the only thing that makes me doubt this pattern and makes it seem like it might not retrace would be the fact that Apple announced that it's splitting into 4. So that's very bullish news, which is going to drive at least Apple to rally up. And Apple, as being the leader in the NASDAQ and like in a big portion of stock trading, you will be able to see it help other stocks rally. And what I mean by that, it pretty much saved the market for about a month. So we were anticipating that big sell-off until Apple released that news, and from there you can pretty much expect a bunch of bullishness from that. So even if we start to see Tesla sell off, we can even start to imagine, we can start to see Apple do the same, and maybe selling off a little bit and then pushing up to new highs. So it's a very bullish thing that Apple released. So looking at the weekly, we're going to go down to the daily. And this is where I'm going to bring out my retracement. So let's open this up, drawings, and this is my levels. So for trading Tesla, let me see if I can make this a little bit better. For trading Tesla, you can see that we're still holding above that purple line support here at 1401. So as long as that level holds, our target is still going to be up here in the 1794, 95 area. So that's pretty much why I'm still bullish on Tesla, because as you see, my fibs provide me my levels. So this would be the 100, 50, and 0. That's the only little hint I'm going to give you. I have custom fibs. So this is above the 50 mark is when I start to see bullishness. And what I mean by that is after we hit this 50 mark from here, our target now becomes this automatically. So trading based off of that, unless we are able to cross down below this line, we are still in a bullish pattern, in a bullish uptrend. So what helps a lot is being able to see that this level here is holding. So at the moment, these 3-4 levels would be your areas of resistance. So this, those four levels would be your areas of resistance. So what you can kind of see it trying to do is come down to its 30 and then maybe bounce off of that. So definitely going to be looking forward to this daily chart and seeing how it forms on Monday. So that's going to be very interesting. So let me delete that screenshot. Moving on to our second stock. This one's going to be very, very cool. I'm very excited to see this one. It's HIW. So let me turn off the lines. You don't need to see that right now. And let me explain to you the thinking behind what I see happening. So as you can see here, we were rallying way before our big sell-off happened. So as you can see, we were going up and then we had that sell-off, boom, 200-day moving average. And you can see it's been riding that 200-day moving average. So what you can expect from there is for it to, boom, try to retest that 14-day moving average up there, which is at the 45 area. And that's right off the bat, that's a bullish indicator, and that's why I'm watching this stock. So moving on to the weekly chart, you can start to see that it has tried to come up, and what this maroon looking line is, it's your 200-day moving average, right? So as you can see here, it's tried to test that level, but you know, it had that sell-off. This was when SPY was being very bullish. So if we start to see SPY do that same bullish behavior, you can expect this one to do the same. So I'm very, very confident on this one. I'm looking at those 40 to 45 calls, and this is going to be one of those low-key moves, because coming over here and looking at our volume, you can see that in these big sell-offs, you get a lot of volume. See, boom, once again, a lot of volume next candle. You go down in volume, and then, you come to this week where you had a little bit more, about 1 million more than average, because right here our average is about 3. So you have a little bit more, bigger volume than average, so you can kind of expect something. See, we had that big volume here, lower volume, and then boom, we had that big volume increase. So coming into our daily on this is a very interesting pattern. This reminds me a lot of two stocks, SPY and Boeing. So let's open up our levels on this. Look, as far as we know, like I just told you guys on Tesla, this right here is our 50 mark. That big yellow line you see there at 38.93. As soon as we move above that, our next level, our next target on this move would be 52. And coming over to the options chain, right off the bat, you can see that these calls are very cheap. These are 20 days, and even then we can give ourselves time. We can give ourselves a lot of 48 days. The 45 calls are right off the bat $25. There's no volume on these, so you can start to see this little trend that we're getting on, that we're a little bit behind. We're a little bit early to these moves. So if we were able to get these long-term 50 for, let me get this. Hold on. So if we were able to get these long-term low risk $75 plays with time, we will be able to take advantage of that move upwards. And as you can see, once you get in the money, you're starting to see that 500, then that 900, then that $1,000. So a very, very, very good call to get long term. Like I said, this is not financial advice, but for educational purposes, you would be able to get that call and really take advantage of that $1,000 move, 1,000% move, Very bullish on this. So key level to watch on this is definitely going to be that 38.93. Once we move above that, it would be 42, 44, and finally 47. So the way you want to target and the way you want to do this strategy is by, okay, our target currently is 38.93. You would want to target 1 point below that. So we would want to do the 37 calls. I don't know if they have, no, they don't. So in this case, we would be looking at the 35 calls. And as you can see, you're able to do two things. You can get in the money, 1 point in the money, or at the money. So it would be these or these or this. And the reason I say that is, once you start getting that move upwards, you're really going to start making that premium, and you're going to get that premium bump as we move upwards. So like I say, coming up, you really want to wait until we move up above that 38.93 and we start to hold that level, because then that's an indication that we're going to start rallying upwards. So once again, this is a very good stock to be watching. Add this to your watch list. You know, not a lot of people know about this. You know, it's not very mainstream. You don't hear this on all the stock chats or stock twits or whatever you're on. You really don't hear this. So it's going to be early. And last but not least, this is the special one. This is that one that is just a beautiful chart. You know, it's just flat out beautiful. So let's go on to our monthly. Remember, higher time frame into lower time frame. So as you can see, this one wants to go, man. This one wants to run. So very excited for this one. If we move above that 200 level, as you can see, we have our monthly was a hammer. So if you move above that 200 level, we're going to see 220. And I'm going to just blow your mind. I'm going to just blow your mind off the bat. So let's do time. Let's give ourselves 41 days. Let's do the 220. These are $100. Well, right here they're marking 200. So once you get in the money or even close to the money, these are around what, 12, 11, 10, 9. So you're really taking your money and making the best out of it. Even the 34 days, they might even be a better deal. See, once you start moving above these, even if you get these lower, cheaper plays, you know what I mean? You're able to take advantage of that premium bump. So, for example, if we get the these $25 ones, and we start to see the stock move upwards, for one, these don't look like they have a lot of activity. So you might be able to get filled at a better price. But at the same time, once you start moving up, you start getting that, we're at 288. Once you start getting those 20-point moves, that's where you're taking advantage of the premium bump. So if you move up, let's say three strikes from now, this is 25. 3 strikes from now would mean 37, 36, 88. So that 25 would turn into 88 and soon 125. So that's how I price that. So back to our monthly. You can see we have that hammer moving down to our weekly. This is an even more beautiful pattern here. You see, we come down, let me mark it up. We go up, start to come down, and then we're getting ready to go back up. And a very strong indication is RSI. And the reason I say that is when you have a divergence like this, that this is looking bullish like that, and this is going up like that, this is going down like that, that's called a divergence. And in this case, this is a bullish divergence. Because what your RSI is doing is telling you, hey, there's people buying, but this is going down, so people are buying this dip. And that's a very powerful way to use your RSI. So moving on, let's move on to our lowest time frame. You can start to see that buying happening here. And then we come over here, even a better picture that's beautiful. And we start to see this. For one, we are holding above that 50% mark at the 178.28. And our next target would be 195. Next would be 209. And finally would be 223. And that's what I mean. Like, these levels are big jumps and leaps. And we're able to capitalize them by, like in this case, you would want to target the 200, 205 calls because of the fact that if we were able to cross that blue line at 295, our next target would be 209. And that would be the area where we have a little bit more resistance. And just being able to know that ahead of time, you're able to get calls that when we get to that point where we're at 209, your calls will be in the money. And that's when you can really take advantage of that premium and really sell off. So this would be one of those longer term plays. And to know how to time this, you want to do this trick. So let me take off the drawing. Let me take a screenshot. Okay. So the way I time it is by using the rectangle tool. And you don't necessarily have to have an iPad to do this. You can do this in pretty much any broker that lets you place drawings on your chart, excuse me. Okay. So let's just add this one up here. So if we were to move this over, you can see right there that we're already at that week when we're going to get that big candle push. that's just the way I time it, because it's literally, it's the range, you feel me? So the time range on this would give you that example that it takes usually this long to make that move, because that's what happened last time. And trying to use those patterns that you start to see develop, like what I just showed you with that rectangle, that's a huge advantage to your trading, because you're able to time these calls per se. So if we were to say be here on the chart, you would kind of be able to see that it would take about 2 weeks. So then you would use that knowledge that it would take you about 2 more weekly candles to be able to time your calls. So in that case, you would want to target 3 weeks ahead. So in this case, you can see that candle form in this week on this target. So you would be able to know, let me get a little bit less time, but at the same time, let me give myself that cushion. So 2 to 3 weeks on this would be perfect. And as you can see there, these are very, very lucrative little plays. So let's do about 3 weeks. You start to see those 220s come down in price. So the 220s here are $88. And once you get in the money, or around the money, you start to see that those $88 turn into a couple hundred, couple eight, 6, 7, so that's really a way you can use it to time and to take advantage of that premium bump. So very lucrative. I'm looking at Burlington. This is one of my favorites. I'm really targeting that 250 area, just for the fact that that was a previous highs on this before we saw that big sell-off. So very interesting. This is one of those that I really recommend that you put on your watch list and that you track normally on a regular basis, so you're able to take advantage of that bump in premium, and you start to see that how do I say this best? You start to see that move form, and you're able to capitalize on that move. And what I mean is, if you start to watch, you're able to see the dips, and once you start seeing those dips is when you're able to, capitalize on that, for just being able to know that this is going to go up and that you're just buying the dip. And hope you guys enjoyed this. Watch this video. Good luck this week. If you guys have any questions, you guys can find me in chat. If you're in chat and you want to talk to me, just at Contract Reaper, DM me personally, send me a direct message, or just tag me in the chat and I'll be able to reply to you that way. And if you want to join chat, it's patreon.com/Reaper chat. If you want to learn anything new, if you want any new video on any options, concept, anything, comment it down below and I'll make the video. And man, it's going to be a really good week, so I'm excited. A lot of good plays, and hope to see you in chat. Peace.